Hey, what's up? This is Todd Smith, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about the Roland 707 and why I personally chose the MC-707 over the other variant options in the market. You have a lot of other options like Elektron, you have the MPC, and a few people have shot me the question, why did you choose this over the MPC? Why did you choose this over Elektron? Now, before I get into this topic, I need to state I think all the choices are justified in a workflow if it works for you. So don't take at any point in the video that me choosing the MC-707 diminishes the value of any other machine. Now, when it comes down to Elektrons, I've actually had a Digitact for about 6 to 8 months, so I have experience with the Elektron workflow. And when it came down to the Elektron workflow, at least with the Digitact, and I would imagine things more advanced within the line, I just didn't really gel with what they were offering. Again, that is 100% personal. I've actually had a lot of people in the comments state that the MC-707 is a harder workflow than Elektron, and I've had a complete opposite experience. There was just something about Elektron's workflow that took me out of music making. I was thinking more about the settings, thinking more about the box, thinking more about what I was doing within the machine itself than actually making music. Where the MC-707, I've already jumped past that hurdle. I'm already just concentrating on music right out the gate, and the machine doesn't feel like a hindrance already within 2 days of using it. So I know I really didn't want to go the Elektron route because I tried that before and I just didn't really gel with the experience. Now, about Elektron, the great thing about my Digitact experience was it sounded great and it was built like a tank. In fact, I would argue I think the Digitact has cleaner sampling than the MC-707. At least that's with my early experience of the MC-07 and my memories of the Elektron device. But that comes to another point that really turned me off about some other options is sampling was very much too much the forefront. I personally like to add a little bit of samples in there, but I am by no means a person that builds an entire track around sampling. So pretty much any workflow that has sampling as the forefront and not really a synth engine as the forefront doesn't really interest me at this point. And when it comes down to synth engines, Korg and Roland are kind of like my go-to when it comes to the big names. As we all know, Korg's last hardware offering was the Electribe, and it was ill-received because of the workflow. I don't think anybody will say the Electribe 2 sounds bad. The King Korg engine sounds sick. I think what hindered it in the market was 100% the design workflow choice. And again, the last thing I want to be getting back into is something that I'm fighting against a workflow. If you buy something as the heart of your studio, you want it addictive. You want it something you want to jump into. If you're fighting it and you don't feel it and you don't want to play it, that's the exact opposite feeling you want from the central piece of your studio. The MC-707 was obviously heading in the better direction. The workflow, almost everybody was talking about how great it is in the early tutorials, the early reviews. It was well received within the market. Zencore is a very powerful synth engine that just captures so many classic sounds from this brand. And it had sampling, but it wasn't the forefront. It was kind of a secondary option. All this really started to feel like the machine for me. And really the only other options that were really left on the table in the market right now were kind of circuits, and they didn't feel like they had enough. And then you have the MPC, which a lot of people will tell me I should have went that route, or they did go that route because it has so many more options. And it's true, on paper, the MPC is technically going to give you much more of almost of a DAW experience in a box, and I don't really need. With that DAW experience, you're going to get a lot deeper menus, a lot deeper functionality, a lot deeper menu diving. I could tell just from watching the videos that the MPC was much more direct, much faster once you got used to it. But yes, this came with limitations, but I knew it was limitations I could live with. I personally didn't need a DAW in a box with the MPC controlled. I personally was looking for something more like a classic groovebox, and again, everything was pointing to the MC-707. I've been using Korg Gadget as the heart of my studio for years, and I love it. It's very much a groovebox on the iPad, and I've wanted to have a dedicated synthesizer hardware groovebox because all the reasons why hardware is so great. Dedicated machines, software updates dedicated only to that device, and I've been kind of taking a long time looking at the market, trying to make the right choice. I really think the MC-707 was the perfect choice for me. But that's just me. I'd love to hear your opinion. And as always, stay positive, stay creative, support each other, and peace.